get eliminated. So we'll kind of see what happens as things progress. But there is
they
a
said SSG. I thought they meant
huge
Swamp
spreadsheet
Gaming.
the
I was
public
about to
is
say.
available, or it's available to the public to look at all these sort of odds, the chances for each team. But off the rip, Portal play comes through from, like you mentioned, the Ultron comp coming through on the Mantis too.
Yeah, they are coming out the door on Strange, and they know it's coming. They heard it through the doors of the spawn, waiting for that portal to start to make sure no one gets kidnapped. I love to see that. Just big brain plays there. They instead elect to teleport to the high side. The battle begins as Kendrick takes that space, and immediately Jitward finds Cal. That's going to be one up now for Yeah We Lost. The res comes in, Psych I Lied, evened out. It's all about this early take on point. Zaytex onto unknown. Cal able to trade that back on his Xantho, but Kendrick and Zaytex, say not up in here, and they take this point likely early here.
Yeah, man, I like that. They played quickly. They knew TSM were on that, cheese sort of Deadpool Stratus comp instead of the snow because they're going to go for an early ult play. So they just want to outpace
I don't want to
go
be
quickly, just try to get trades, get KOs before Brady can go ult. And
I don't want to be
KOs and get the win. So nice job by Yeah We Lost to take advantage of their comp. And TSM,
I don't want to be mean to the fellow streamers chat, but I do think this is going to be a quick 2-0.
With the 2-2-2 sort of style. Cal, nice hook to bring back Kendrick. Everybody still keep him alive, but still, that was a huge play by Cal on Bucky, who's been sort of next level on that hero.
Yeah, that was another thing we didn't really mention, is Cal on Bucky looked actually really good in the last matchup, too. And what do you know, coming out the door on that pick, and that will help peel that backline for some of the dive. Immediately has ult. That is insane timing. Jitward goes in, Mask going to match it with a Rage. Jitward finds two, and Mask takes out the third. There's going to be a two-piece commitment there. Gilbert launching the Sia in that as well. Does not get enough value, and it looks like Yeah We Lost are going to maintain this dominance that they showed on the last time these two teams met up.
Yeah, that was tough. I mean, I would have actually liked if Cal committed to Mask there. He might have gotten the KO, and now they're getting staggered towards the very end, but he was in full peel brain, came back through, and now we have the coveted Yeah We Lost spawn camp. But, we got that res, the BRB again, getting max value every single time. TSM tries to come back through a Guru's ult, but it's fully disengaged by Yeah We Lost as the rotate to the point. Agamotto, perfectly timed.
I mean,
that's everybody.
Okay.
Are you kidding me, Kendrick? With the damage boost, they get it done.
I love it. That was giant. And he talked about this spawn hold.
Okay.
His team just does it so well. Look at the percentage
They're
on
spawn
the board
holding
while
TSM,
still
bro.
having
They're spawn
three ults. This is insane. TSM, once again, got to figure something out. Unknown, Cal, BTS could have some sort of combination here with the Strangling Prison, and they need to make it happen, and they need value now. Cal waiting on this Kraken impact. Out goes the Soul Resurgence. Cal gets res. Number still even. Forcing out Zaytex ult. The touch is going to have to be there from Unknown. And
wait,
yeah,
why is there Groot all the way
a
up?
little bit? Just going to set up a little home to hold off in as Jitward gets there.
I mean, yeah, does he even go for the Strangling Prison here? I mean, he's literally just going to wait for the team. Maybe try to get a portal play. Nope, just tries to hold on to the next map. At least procs the overtime. BTS does find Mask, though, so nice try to find that pick. Luca finds the trade, though. And Cal, I mean, it's just kind of messy at this point. Has to try to peel for himself, not even near his strats. 33 HP. Somehow is still alive. The
nice
focus is not onto him, but still Gilbert falls to Luca on the point, running around on a hole.
Yeah, I mean, there's the switch from BTS to try to get the Strange. I just think that was some crazy lack of communication at the end there.
Bro.
The tricky part is Unknown got there for the touch, but obviously didn't launch ultimate. So what do? You just drop ult like that immediately to make the Strange switch and try to get a portal over there? It seemed like they just really didn't know what they wanted to do in that moment. BTS finally making the switch towards the end. Just a little bit of lack of communication, a little bit of nerves maybe as their backs are
Cal is the only one doing anything on that team, bro.
Before we start map 2.
Oh.
Yeah, a ton of them on the board. I mean, obviously, you know what Yeah We Lost are trying to do. They're trying to play hard aggressive together as a cohesive unit. Probably got to focus on Max a little bit more. Brady swaps over to the Invisible Woman to try to help peel off of the Deadpool.
I don't want to say this is a little embarrassing, chat, but this might be a little embarrassing.
They're just not having enough peel for everybody here. Honestly, I wouldn't even be opposed to just having Cal play the Bucky and maybe BTS going over to the I guess the Mantis can't be played, but any sort of
it's actually really funny that Guru came to my
TSM has to figure it out. This is the problem, is that against Yeah We Lost,
Guru came to my chat and he was like,
play very fast pace.
I can't wait to do the portal strats. Remember the portal strats he was doing last week, and I was complaining about it, how he spent 45 seconds doing a portal, and I was like, what the hell is this guy doing?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm with you, buddy. I'm not really sure what the solution is right now. It seems like it's just kind of a lack of confidence. At least on that last map, it really did look like they were just kind of waiting for their fight. And instead of trying to make anything happen, they played on their heels and nobody really got anything to work out. Here goes the next fight is Cal's able to find Jitward. Some good combination there and more commitment as Luca dives in on that back line. Ulted up, gets eaten by the dinosaur. Almost gets extinct. Instead is going to stay HP, drop back with the team. Yeah, we lost it holding on a point. Now the complete combination of Sia with the rampage. Gilbert able to find Kendrick.
Come on, TSM. You know what? I'm rooting for the underdog now, chat. I know I said YWL is going to win, but I do want to see TSM like not get stomped.
Cal coming through with the damage on.
There we go.
Jitward was huge, and now moving forward, yeah, we lost. Obviously, just committed a ton of ults.
No, bro, listen.
TSM trying to play that full
I think YWL is going to win, but I have a lot of friends on TSM chat.
Actually, not doing a bad job with that shotgun too. Everybody trying to focus on Jitward, get rid of him in that fight. Masked by the switches over to that White Fox to kind of help on these sort of dives, at least onto the front line too. And Kendrick goes immediately forward, aggressive already.
Yeah, I wouldn't really hate seeing that from TSM either. The Fox is available. We can see now Luca's able to find Cal. Gilbert going to bring BTS back in. Unknown able to take out.
But you did predictions against your friends.
Once again onto Breddy.
I mean, that doesn't matter. Listen,
on this KO
friends come and go. You know what doesn't?
No ult's going to be available besides Kendrick.
Your money, chat. Your channel points. Those don't come and go. Those only come.
I mean, they literally just dive on through.
You don't want your channel points to go. You don't want your money to go.
That damage boost from Mantis, and it's done. I mean, it just feels like Kendrick just flies in, and this was the thing we talked about last stage, and we heard in the interviews. Once we get rid of Kendrick on Doctor Strange, it's a lot easier. They're going for stagger picks towards the main side.
Appreciate that for 2 months. How you doing, my friend?
You know, heavy enforcement. Cal tries to bring it back, but he actually misses. Doesn't get the reset. Actually, no, he does get onto 4, but everybody here is still healthy because of Zatex.
Oh my god!
That's a huge eye once again. Kendrick
my
able to
god,
find
that was huge.
The second out of BTS, who had ult right there and instead has to switch because lost it from that chaos. Everybody gonna press
great ult
though. Jitward and Mask.
Great ult, but TSM is losing the ult exchange.
Kind of a double, but it doesn't matter if you're dominating like this. Kendrick and Zatex drop 2 more. The res comes in, but that's just gonna be a little bit of a reset for the team as they're gonna want to wait to set up a 6 before they start another fight. Luca, Breddy, or excuse me, Luca, Gilbert, and Guru will have ults in this fight. This is TSM's fight to lose.
I mean, they're switching over to the Psylocke and the Wolverine. You know, I feel like this is sort of.
I think when the playoffs happen, the top 8 chat, when you combine both Group A and Group B brackets, I think the matches are going to be a little bit better instead of more like one-sided.
Luca trades it. BTS goes down to that Hulk, who is just kind of throwing.
The top 8 is going to be a lot of fun to watch.
All to just engage heavy, and that's the best way to use Dino. Run right towards the backline with your speed boost. Use that shield to make sure they can't use cooldowns. Tries to off-map there. Knows the jump will be there. What a shield to stay healthy. And then go invisible. No, Breddy falls. Jitward able to find 2. Come on the other side. Zatex gets the 3rd. And throughout all of that,
poor Guru is getting beat by 4 people. Oh my god, Guru is alone on point getting beat by 4 people.
I don't even know how that's possible. Well, the backline was distracted, and they take this home. Wow. Yeah, we lost 2-0 real quick.
Yeah, that was an absolute dismantling.
Show me the stats. I want to see the stats.
TSM looking rough. Like, I
Yo,
feel like
Carmen, the bartender. Appreciate the massive prime sub, my friend. Let me see the stats here. Let me see the stats.
The Cal Bucky sort of plays. But honestly, it was just they just fell apart after that. They tried like panic ulting almost so many times. It's the tough map for TSM. So this is kind of looking like the TSM we saw previously. And you know, they really need to turn on.
Trust me, I want to see the stats.
Good map upcoming.
Yo, production, show me the stats.
But before that, we have a short break, and we'll see you guys for map number 2.
GG's. They don't show us stats. That was a little bit of a domination, but next game is going to be a good one. You have Team Liquid Citadel, who's undefeated, chat. We're already talking about the next game. Next game is Team Liquid Citadel, who's undefeated, against STD, who's 3-1. STD, they're doing pretty good. And after that, Swamp Gaming against 100 Thieves. That is going to be the biggest match for NA. call the production team and tell them what tell them to get them to do what you want. Influencer chat. I cannot tell Marvel Rivals what to do. Why do you guys think I could just call up Marvel Rivals like I have their number and tell them what to do?
Central, and welcome back to What's the Meta. We're more than halfway through the group stages of stage 1.
Listen, if I had any say on anything that Marvel Rivals can do, chat, it wouldn't be to balance the game. It wouldn't be to give me production, like whatever. I want custom games.
Gambit is pretty much the priority when it comes to a first ban. We don't get to see him. I think we've spoken about him enough. We all know why. And Devil Dinosaur is still number 2. Teams are protecting Devil Dinosaur.
Jitward went 34 and 3.
Sort of lineup that if you have Devil Dinosaur and the other team does not, you have a pretty decent win rate. So they're protecting Dino because when one team gets him, that team usually wins because he's so easy to incorporate into a composition. He's very good at shutting down some of the more like brittle duelists that want to be a little bit more divey. And so he's just a great character to sort of put in the middle of the map and honestly just build around with the damage that he deals, the damage that he blocks, and just the way that he's able to stall and fight an objectives. Yeah, Devil Dinosaur is pretty good and one of your mainstay vanguards for the time being. That's all standard. We could see that in the games.
I want Bucky's summer skin, but he's completely naked with only flip-flops and the sunscreen on his nose. Chat, can I ban Yoon?
Just become more popular.
All in favor say aye,
just how
please.
To win with him with how he plays. Obviously, he's been buffed over the last couple of seasons. Is looking really good. The likes of Be Right Back as just an ability, are very useful in these like long, drawn-out team fights.
Sorry, Yoon, you're banned here.
To eliminate anybody.
That's just wild.
The likes of Devil Dinosaur. Get a pick on Devil Dinosaur, or Be Right Back instantly brings him back into the fray. Yeah, it's going to be frustrating.
That is crazy, man.
Star-Lord is obviously very good because Star-Lord got buffed. And the fact that Rocket is very good with his survivability. The fact that a Daredevil or a Black Cat can jump on him, try to eliminate him.
I don't think this game is ever going to come out with naked skins. I mean, technically Hulk is naked, and also
the Iron Amplifier is an ultimate.
What was the other character that was naked? Chat? Adam Warlock is kind of naked.
Where there's so much sustain. And Rocket can put out a good amount of damage, but he can obviously put out a metric ton of healing too. So yeah, Rocket is one of the main winners when it comes to how much he has shot up the rankings when it comes to not only a protect priority, but also a ban priority too. And his win rate when one
Venom, I said Venom
doesn't, is pretty high. One of the highest that we've seen so far. Like almost 2/3 of the time high. So yeah.
Oh wow, this is a very long break as well, man. Damn.
One of the characters that benefits from
damn.
Pretty good answer to him got stronger too. That being Phoenix, Jean Grey. She's very good at
damn.
She benefits from Rocket's resources, damage boost into a solo Jean Grey when you're running triple strategist. It's a great way to actually find eliminations.
Venom isn't nude.
And he just
no, chat. Venom. Have you seen Venom throw it back, chat? No, he's definitely nude, especially with that. What was that skin with the tutu on? Nah, that is. It's a little wild, man.
These two have shot up in popularity. Some of the other options that were trying to contest them have fallen down.
It seems like TSM just went onto Twitch and found the best, the big names of streamers and threw them onto a team together. No, they're a bunch of friends. Also, they were a team before TSM.
Capital guaranteeing access to.
Yeah, auto mod. It prevents a lot.
We want to protect this character so it doesn't get banned. We're gonna try and one-side it if we can. That hasn't really worked. Like the win rate is still pretty underwhelming, like under 50%. If a team gets Black Cat and the other team doesn't, they don't win the majority of the
time. A lot of people do say, and it's very mean, chat. A lot of people do say that, you know, TSM is full of streamers
it just seems that teams
and they're not pros.
But they're like,
but I don't believe that. I say that streamers can be pros too.
We're not going to ban her because we want to get some of the other characters out that we've mentioned instead if we can. It just feels like Black Cat is fine, but she's not super.
How do these teams qualify for Ignite? You have to be one of the partner teams, or like you have to be like the top 2 or 3 in MRC.
Drop down, like White Fox's popularity has gone down. Captain America's popularity has gone down. Luna, even, who's quite high up in the rankings.
Not good streamers. You're either a good streamer or a good pro. I don't believe that. There's a lot of good. There's a lot of ex-pros that choose streaming over being a professional. I think streaming as well.
And
you know,
sort of attention needs to.
I think pays.
I am really curious to
more.
see what we see in like the last.
That's why you see a lot of people stop being pro.
At least for like EMEA in Americas, there's a month we're gonna have Cyclops in the game when we get to stage 1 playoffs. So the meta is gonna change a lot. So I'm excited to see what this last week of action is going to give us before we go into season 8.5. But I hope you found this interesting.
Yeah. Yo, Rude Mean Crab, how you doing? How you doing, my friend? Just because you're really good, dude. Wait, what? I appreciate the massive dono.
Welcome back, everyone, to Marvel Rivals Ignite Stage 1 NA. We are still in the midst of our group stages currently. TSM is playing Yeah We Lost in Group A, tied 4th in the standings. And Yeah We Lost is taking this first
The
map
biggest thing
with
that you could do is be a pro, get your name out there.
This is not at all the TSM
and then,
we talked
become a
about in the
streamer.
pre-show. This is not the TSM that seemed to have figured it out and found their footing and found their stride. They once again look... Well, they're the one looking lost, to be honest.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the solution necessarily is. You know, I don't think Fox is bad into their comp. I think Fox is pretty good into snowballing stuff. I know that they can run the penny. You know, they had that for a moment in the past, pulled it away. Maybe lack of confidence or just not enough practice with that composition. But that stuff is in their bag.
There's no way that he's
so
going to be a
I think that's something they could work on, or maybe they'll pull out in, you know, in a different mode here that could help them find more success. Dog, I'm not sure if you have any other ideas. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I'm kind of with you on the White Fox stuff. I mean, taking a look at the MVP from that last map for Yeah We Lost, they just kind of, you know, played heavily through this front line. Just it was kind of like you said, just hard W key around Jitward, and he wasn't, you know, they weren't able to deal with
34 kills and 3 deaths.
They had some good plays playing around Cal. We've seen teams, I think, play like triple strategists sometimes
that
to
is
deal with it.
Crazy.
And the White Fox being a prominent figure, like you said, like White Fox has been so good. So many of these backlines have been really good. In general, strategists have just been constantly leveling up, and you know, it does feel like a little bit weird to not see TSM adapt towards that and try to deal with Jitward. We did see some nice plays out of Cal and Bucky, but it's like you said, they need to stop the steamroll that was Yeah We Lost, and that might start with you know, early banning that Mantis or something, because I mean, the Zatex I think was enabling the team pretty hardcore.
2 months, my friend. I appreciate it. Season
too, like,
8.5 preview server is going to be on Wednesday, and Friday is going to be the next new season next Friday.
Was 8 and 9, Cal was 6 and 10. And I feel like he was in the middle of his team when they were dying sometimes. And that to me screams like we need either more healing or just to switch up the
Oh my god,
composition
Guru
a
is
bit.
666.
I don't know if the
Oh my
Punisher's going
god.
to play, especially on domination.
Oh my god.
Yeah, Ship, I mean, you mentioned that you would like to see the White Fox there. Is that something that Brady has in the pocket? Like, do we know if that's a hero that he's been playing?
Yeah, I actually don't know. But I'll tell you what, it seemed like, you know, kind of on the other side of that token, Gilbert Noodle's Loki was
the
Thanos
roadmap?
because they
I'm pretty
really
sure
had to
everything's
remove
gonna be
it. It
announced
seemed like it was
next
really
week,
good,
chat.
and
That's
it
what
is
they
very
usually
strong
do.
into their comp. So maybe Dino isn't the answer, even though I do think Dino's really strong, and maybe instead we try to focus on protecting the Loki, which may be a crazy thing to say out loud, but you got to find a solution. You got to get out of the box here against this team. They're just walking through you. Even there, when we saw those fights where Guru was on that back line, just completely distracting strategists, throwing them off the map, the entirety of the team was deleted on the off camera. So it's like, we just got to find something to stall and sustain, and Loki maybe is that answer if they're not going to run Fox.
Yeah, see, I don't think that's actually crazy, because really, if you're looking back at their victory from last week, like, that was a huge part of it. Like, them having the Loki, Guru on that Loki, that was the switch that turned the tide for them.
Yeah, I think that there's a lot of plays that can be made with Loki. Loki's healing output's just crazy in this current patch, but also like the rocket stuff. I mean, you talked about it. Like I think Shib mentioned how you know, rocket's really strong, but like once you find that BRB, it's just kind of not. It's just negated, right? Like it just felt like that was a Wicked Edition last week, like you said, Zoe. The Loki was really good, but so is Brady on the Luna Snow and stuff. But because Rocket's been so prominent in the meta, maybe they feel like they have to play Rocket Raccoon, and it just feels like versus Yeah We Lost comp, it's not as strong, or at least they need to play maybe more triple strategist comp or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, piggybacking off that too, like Rocket used to be the answer for when you were being dove, because Rocket could survive for longer, as we see the next map, got to be a museum. Major shock there. But nowadays, Rocket though instead is kind of being run as like this anti-triple, like more traditional composition stuff, because you have better answers for dive. Like you can run that Fox in the back line. You know, it gives Luna another answer, you know, who can absolutely pressure through and deal a lot of damage. You got the Loki. So you instead run Rocket for more of the, hey, I want to deal with this triple comp. I want to run it with a duelist that has a strong ultimate and just delete them through their ults. So it's kind of been a shift in meta as a whole. But right now it seemed like they're trying to resort to old Rocket, where they're playing Rocket to just try to survive. That BRB is getting deleted because their whole team's snowballing. I'm just not sure it's the answer, buddy. I think you have a pretty good call out there.
Yeah, also apologies, I believe I said Guru instead of Gilbert in regards to that Loki. Either way, let's see if they pull it out here for map 2 as they're fighting
let's
to
see this,
stay
chat.
alive. It's first to 2, so everything's on the line in this very important matchup for TSM.
Let's see this. Let's see this. Let's see this.
Yeah, we lost, guys.
I
Take
would
it
not
away.
be surprised if we see Penny.
Alrighty,
Penny?
my friend, as we go in again. I mean,
Penny
you and I,
has
we like
been
seeing
a
games go
big
the distance,
problem
and
lately.
that was not an example of a game that looked like it would go the distance. I want TSM to bounce back here.
Yeah, that's the harshest she'll be, Shib. That's that Shib just absolutely dogpiling onto you with the.
Wait a minute,
nicest way
Dogman looks
possible.
good with the
I think,
black
like,
shirt and the blue
it's just- it's
background
tough
with the
because
little
it's like
blue,
you said with
like,
Rocket. Rocket's
I don't
really
know,
good versus
flowers on
Devil
his
Dino
shirt.
and
That looks
stuff.
good.
And yeah, we lost our fine not playing it, right? Like we saw Devil Dino pop off last week, but this week teams are like, it's getting through sometimes in the ban phase, and teams aren't even running it, right? Like it just feels like it can get countered maybe by a Rocket in the current patch or something.
Yeah, we saw it yesterday, but I don't
Also,
even
I think
remember. I'm
TSM
pretty sure it
took
didn't work
YWL
out for them when
to,
they didn't run the Dino. I mean, I think
to,
Dino's really
Museum,
strong,
even
but I think
though
Dino takes a lot of
YWL is
resources.
really good on
and
Museum, is,
if you don't have the resources
they
on your
full
team,
held
if
yet
you don't have
someone
the
last
flick or
week
whatever,
and
you
won.
instead kind of just
Forgot
play
what
the
team it
I'm
was
the
called.
giant distraction game, and you just always have to play your life. Bess had mentioned that in an interview, and I think that's a good call out. As we see the bans now, Star-Lord removed again. Think that's a good call. Kind of just spin to win over their team if they were snowballing, get alt really quickly and help push through them. And then the save of Mantis there for you. We lost once again.
Yeah, but you talked about, so Black Cat comes from the
Was
opposite
that
side.
SSG?
You mentioned that Museum, you know, it's like kind of a bad map to take. Yeah, we lost to. Unless they play, you know, the sort of way that we saw other teams do with the Penny Parker and stuff on the inside, for sure. You're right. TSM go for the throat a little bit here by going for that Daredevil ban on their side. Yeah, we lost. Go for that early Loki ban and then protect. Understanding they kind of want to play that. I wonder if that means TSM want to get rid of Rocket or something now that the Loki is protected.
Yeah,
Phoenix,
I'm not sure. I don't mind this from you. We lost. I don't think haven't seen a ton of Loki from them. Maybe I am misremembering the removal of Phoenix there. DD. I like that ban for TSM. I think that's a smart change. I think Jitward looked really strong in the hero and was dominating that last domination. But I think it's very different when you go to Convoy like this, and the structure of how you play as a team is just completely different. So, you know, again, this is going to come back from them scrimming together, getting information, seeing what works best. The save of Phoenix there, I think, is a big pick to changes things
By the
up.
way,
And she can peel pretty well.
Master Prime Sub, my friend.
Yeah,
How
I
you
mean,
doing?
that's kind of interesting. You know, I thought like because of the last map, you know, yeah, we lost win for the Phoenix ban. This time around, it's a yes, dude. Penny Parker ban comes through. Yeah, we lost. Don't even want to deal with that. All right, is that the first time we've seen Penny Parker ban in pro play?
Bro,
I
we
think
saw
it
a
is, right?
Penny
It
Parker.
must be.
What are you doing?
It might be. I'd have to go back and look at the stats, but this is the kind of stuff that's like, dude, this is somebody
Why are
they
you telling
struggle
me
with. I don't
6-7?
hate the ban,
Today's
dude. I
five,
mean,
because
you know, I'm
today's
not
the
sure they'd
6th
run
and
it
tomorrow's
because
the
I think it's
7th?
kind of a weird
That's why you're
conflict
saying
of
6-7?
the role swap, because I do think that Gilbert runs the Penny for the team and Gilbert's now bet on strat, so it's kind of weird as a team being able to be that flexible.
June
But,
7th,
you know what?
so
I
the
love it. I think
date
it's not a
is
bad idea. It was what they
6-7.
struggled with the last time they were on this map. Get rid of it and just feel like you're at home at the map that you typically choose.
Oh, I thought it was just because tomorrow's the 7th,
for last
today's
week
the
saying it's
6th.
Penny Parker meta, dude. It's here. It's here. Penny Parker meta.
I got a
Hell
question.
yeah.
Oh, Penny
How old are
Man,
you
stand
again?
up. Dog is just screaming your battle cry.
I'm
as we
joking.
start up here on the attack.
Emily
TSM
and I
gonna
are
be
very
the
hip,
first ones
chat.
out there.
Can I
Definitely
get a
building more
vibe
aggressive
check
attacking
for
comp.
real,
This is a
for
great group
real,
map.
on God?
Yeah, it is, but I guess like
True
the same
shit.
thing with Devil Dino, the problem that he has, same thing with
You
Emma, like
feel
in
me?
these anchor characters, is that it does feel like you
Man,
kinda, at least in Marvel
Skibidi
Rivals,
Ohio
you need to have, like,
Riz.
another Vanguard that's super mobile, right? Like otherwise you're a bit telegraphed and you get your cooldowns
How
faded
do
out.
you
I don't
do,
know, like,
fellow kids?
Doesn't it feel to you, Shib, that like the Devil Dino Groot comp is like maybe not as strong as running a Venom instead of the Groot or something?
Yeah, I think that's probably
Okay,
more
chat,
meta
let's see
in the
this.
conversation right now. I totally get what you're saying, but if you plan on running front to back, typically something like this comp would look really good into another Dino comp where you can, you know, wall off their Dino, and anytime he tries to get a grab combination, you throw your Ironwood to save him. So there is like solutions, but yeah, I'm with you. Into a team that's this mobile, you kind of want your Dino on the back line peeling while Groot takes the space because you're really not going to be able to withstand all the chaos.
Also,
just trying
I
to
just
walk
wanna
forward,
say,
your back line's going to get to lead
that
it. So,
Penny
yeah,
ban
I
is
think
really
Venom
funny,
you know,
and now
take
you
some
have
of that
Jitward on
focus away
Spider-Man.
from your team and force them to look backwards a little bit.
Well, I like this time they have Brady as well.
Oh,
Huge
nice shot.
This is the worry about the ban phase, though, too, is that you just gave TSM Phoenix. And, you know, for as much as everything else in the comp may not be that good, like TSM, if you give them Phoenix, like you're just going to be in a struggle bus, especially if BTS picks up this Elsa to a very high degree. Jitward,
Yeah, that's
on the
actually
Spider-Man,
crazy. They have
aka
Elsa
Mr.
and they have
Back
Phoenix.
Fast
That's
is
a lot of
already here,
damage.
Back fast in the fight. upcoming one. Damage boost on Kendrick probably going to come up in a moment. They want to go aggressive.
Dude, I mean, it's just team damage boost comp over here for we lost. Damage boost on Mask. Damage boost here on Zaytex. Here goes to YWL. Does this one land? It doesn't. Unknown able to find one. Kendrick goes down. And now make it a two-piece. All right, TSM.
I think TSM might actually win this
They'll find their first sweep and turn this corner.
All right, in hindsight, yeah, this might be a really tough ban phase for we lost. Jitwer's going to go to the Star-Lord. And the focus from TSM onto making sure they can't play Daredevil, can't play Black Cat is panning out so far because Jitwer maybe has to play characters not as comfortable on. Portal comes through on the light side. And then also the fact that, yeah, again, we gave TSM Phoenix, we gave them Elsa. They're playing full sort of counter dive. And it's kind of working right now. We'll see.
Why is TSM not using Gale? Apparently someone in my chat said that Gale wanted to take a break.
Yeah, Cali and BTS both being on hit scan brings us back a season here. Oh, it's a massive strangling prison. Can they clean it up? Oh, what a delete there. As the
nice
damage
shots,
was coming in from the dance floor. It would have been massive. Great focus there. Cal still able to find Mask, though. TSM up a number currently. There will be no BRB as Unknown's able to take out Zaytex. To dive in, goodbye, Luca, who's now going to be into Bruce form, and Guru finds this one. And wow, TSM, you might have been right, buddy. This is
Guru did a little tech right there. Bites, melee bite.
Yeah, I think it was it SSG last week too? They just kept giving TSM Phoenix, and it was just like in hit scan characters, and we are like, okay, what are we doing? Because like TSM has shown that they can dominate through their hit scan players. And for we lost, they haven't shown like a much deviation away from like these melee comps. So I think TSM's ban phase is looking very good compared to we lost. Maybe not trying to really care about Kendrick on that Doctor Strange because we can delete his shield instantly, kind of like you can with Devil Dino versus the hit scans of Cal and BTS.
Galactic Legend in the sky. Is that going to get value? Guru drops Kendrick. It's another one down as Jitward tries to find the first pick on the side of we lost. No,
he's a little
not going to
aggressive.
drop back towards the team. And we lost, making a shift in composition. I didn't really love the full damage boost comp without a lot of range, especially on defense. They're running damage boost out the wazoo. They're going to get rid of that strap pool and instead elect to go just kind of back here to the Mantis over there with the Loki.
Plays strange like I do.
More traditional on a 2-2-2. Not a ton of healing on this composition. Instead, still gonna have some of that damage boost, but TSM still moving forward here. About halfway to point 2 as Cal and BTS find another two-piece.
That's a huge eye, at least at the very least. Kendrick finds 2.
I mean, at least he's getting big eyes.
Now switching over to his, best
Hey,
hero,
high risk, high reward, man.
But he eventually gets rained down by, or Xanto gets rained down rather by BTS on the opposite side. And this is, I'm a little bit of surprise. So Jitwer's gonna go over to the dual pool. Luca's gonna get staggered out. Zaytex finds another one on the delay. So at least they're finding these crazy stagger KOs, but they're gonna have to keep running away. I'm just surprised Jitwer doesn't have like a Wolverine in his back pocket or something, because I feel like that would be a good mix-up to play triple around if they want to. But I do like that Zaytex at least going to go over to the Elsa.
I do think Jitward's a little lost right now,
struggles a little bit more so against the Groot too. So we'll see if this Glartrox is going to be big for either Zaytex or BTS in the upcoming fight.
Yeah, and I don't really think that Elsa's combination is bad in the dual pool. Dual pool is really annoying because it's hard to just track and throughout the chaos, but Elsa's E, you kind of just connect and it allows you to get that free shot, so it's not horrendous. Out goes the Strangling Prison. BTS able to find Jitward, who's down now, has a couple levels in because the strat pool was out early on. So starting with a little bit of an advantage, BTS gonna find one with the Glartrox. Is that gonna be value? Match right back with the Silver Surge instead. Gets exiled, and that gets turned right around as Zaytex finds Guru. BTS falls to Kendrick. And wow, what a turnaround there from we lost on this defense.
This kind of goes into the boat as well, where like there's usually a lot of different solutions besides just one, right? Like I feel like maybe we can go Wolverine, sure, but also you could just keep doing Zaytex pop off on Elsa, right? Like we saw in the previous patch, TSM. Now their solution is to put
I really do love how YWL plays aggressive though.
Phoenix instead of the
I
Elsa.
love it.
So they've switched
okay, let's see another big goal here.
We want to try to counter Kendrick a little bit more. We'll see if we lost. They're fine with this because they have so much damage with that Mantis, that one-sided Mantis at the current moment.
Good comms there, buddies. We see now YWL is available.
Oh my god, that's going to be big.
Could be huge.
Oh my god, dude.
Oh my
BTS
god. Takes out Zaytex. Numbers still up here for
no
we
one
lost.
looked at him in the air.
Story.
No
Kendrick
one. Plus
the
Guru popped his shield so early so they could rotate, and then if you pop your shield and your shield breaks, bro, you have to hit the chomp.
Yeah, they have. I mean, they figured it out. They
Who's
recapped the
winning?
cart
Oh,
too in a
YWL
moment.
currently is winning.
But again, like, yeah, TSM trying to play around count, trying to play for that counter dive a little
Edward
bit
with the
more
massive
so.
five. Get the subs on YouTube, my friend.
You know,
Appreciate it.
to be honest, the rocket and stuff, it's
okay?
nice and I like it, but like maybe we can go over to that White Fox that you talked about earlier. That character has been very good, and I think the rocket stuff has been good versus other characters. Brady, nice job to take down Jitward to follow up on his Devil Dino. But again, Kendrick trading it. BTS goes down. The peel job just not really there. I would again love maybe an Invisible Woman instead of this rocket or something for TSM.
BRB gonna bring back one there. Unknown drops mask. Zatex onto Cal. Numbers even.
Wait,
Actually,
wasn't
second life.
Zatex
TSM
like
gonna be
a,
slightly up.
a Black
Kendrick in
Widow
a dangerous spot here. Almost
long
gets
time ago?
taken out. Does great patience there on the bite to wait till all cooldowns were committed. It's gonna be more up now as we lost her in a tough spot. Unknown available. Brady gonna start off with the dance floor. BTS, the combination is available should they need it with that damage boost. On the Phoenix, I don't see anything happening yet. Guru instead gonna drop Luca. TSM are walking in OT.
I just love that Deadpool kind of running away to go open up the notebook. Portal play comes through from Kendrick. They hop out. Mantis Ult to try to turn around. Grudol in the middle of it actually finds through. Same thing with the follow-up on that Ensong Inferno. Finds two into the Grudol.
Oh, that's a great tackle there to ensure that there can be no wall, no shield to stop the strangling prison. Ooh, not able to get value there. Cal tried. Instead, going to go backwards towards Luca, who's untouched right now. Now working his way towards the front line. Luca trades with one. Guru onto mask. Numbers roughly even. It's anyone's fight. It's traded again. The rest comes through. Luca finds three as Brady goes down. BTS trying to find an off-angle pick. Luca very low. What an ultimate there to stay healthy. Still maintaining presence on point. OT ticks down though. Can they get there? I'm not sure they can. They cannot. What a hold by we lost.
Wow, what a hold, bro. I
Jesus,
thought
that
TSM was going to win that for sure, too.
And TSM get held at 129 meters
And
almost
hard
to that
stuck
third
Flattish
phase.
with the massive five. Get that on YouTube,
honestly,
my friend.
like a
Absolutely
pretty valiant
insane
effort
as
there
well.
by We Lost, who just kind of sent bodies, man. This is like the old games where we're just like seeing zombie hordes running at TSM.
Dude, Jitward doesn't even have that many deaths, Chad.
You know,
He has
like
6.
you talked about the Loki being really valuable. I think that's been huge. That one-sided Loki matchup has been nice. And again, I just feel like with the Rocket and stuff, Rocket's good, don't get me wrong, and I think Rocket is an incredibly strong hero at the current moment. But I don't know, like, it doesn't matter how strong Rocket is if you just kind of fall over, no? Like,
Wait a minute.
for some reason, like, we're
Wait a
losing
minute.
people,
Wait a
we're finding these opening
minute.
picks. If we just have...
YWL's DPS have 2 kills. Also, I mean, Zatex was playing a little bit of DPS, but he was also playing the Mantis, but he has 8. Their tank has 8.
More sustain if we could play around
There, I mean, right now we're not sure exactly
their
what
tank
lost
and their
coming out of the
supports are
door
actually
with.
carrying right
See
now.
The float of the magic, the Moon Knight. I don't know. The Moon Knight might be something that they elect to run because it does very well into this
Mask
comp
was
that
2
TSM
and
trying
6
to
jab, but
defend
he
with.
was playing support.
I'm with you on the Rocket comment. You know, I don't think into all this kind of movement, it wouldn't be a bad idea to have Fox, especially into
Also,
something like Hulk, because you really can just duel there. And I think
this
at that
2
final
DPS
fight, Luka
dive
got
with
so
Moon
much
Knight is
value
looking very
with that
interesting.
Hulk just extending, finding multiple picks, and then ulting at the last possible moment to just stay healthy and keep him off point. So really well done there. They needed to find a solution to get through that because him going to that backline won them that fight. Off the rip, here we go with the first fight of the attack of We Lost.
And they're running the magic stuff with the damage boost. Comes through Kendrick. You know, actually was known for this back in MRC. Brady, nice freeze though, and we talked about how good he was in the previous week. Cal there with the follow-up. Excellent job by that Luna Snow player. Cart does get pushed over to this first corner though, so even though they lost the fight, they actually did a decent job in the macro to get that cart all the way near that corner.
Yeah, it was a good idea there from Kendrick. Good read, even better read, I would say, there from the side of Beretti on that freeze, just waiting for that portal. There's a brief moment where you do get essentially a free skill that you can land. That's why things like MR are just so good there into Magic. You wait for that portal, and then there's a moment where she's unable to really react to you, so you can get a free tackle, try to find that KO, or use Yancey Street from Thing. That's why she has some hard counters. That being said, still some disgusting Magic players, much like Kendrick. Mask with ult available is going to release the moon. Does
Speaking about Elsa, I kind of want to get the Elsa voice actor to say, release the balding! That would be sick.
Gets put to sleep. Kendrick on a BTS on the
Oh
train,
my
but
god,
Cal
yo,
gonna find that with a two-piece.
Can we get a strange?
Yeah,
I don't think the magic is working, bro. Can we go back strange? There we go.
And again, like it's tough because we're running that dual pool. You know, we're running Mask, I think, playing, you know, some of the carry characters in that Moon Knight and stuff. But he goes over to Captain America now, and they want to set up full dive, actually full triple, as they go over to the Ultron. But I actually still don't mind TSM's comp against this for Yeah We Lost. They're
He was
still playing
having
heavily around
fun.
Jitward.
Oh, that's a
Whereas
that would be a
past,
great
like we said, we
interview during
talked
for.
about how they play around
Hey,
Zatex on that Elsa,
congratulations!
for
You
example.
guys just
Two
lost
maybe
another
beyond the
game.
other
What do you have to say
characters,
about that?
Really swap characters, but
Oh, I'm
Kendrick
sorry.
has
I was
been a
just
big
having
carry so far.
fun.
Doctor Strange too with the damage.
The chat, you're not playing for the
now that you
vibes
notice
in a
that you lost on triple, you wanna
$200,000
have
tournament.
answers. I was going to say you want to use some of these ults to counter, and they are through the oh my goodness, exactly what we're looking for there. Cal, Freddy able to find two. Gilbert on a jit where Kendrick goes down, and I was going to mention you want to goodbye Bruce, who's going back into Bruce form off the map, but you really want to use those ults like the Strangling Prison into the Soul Resurgence from Zatex, right? Because Mantis gets CC'd while ulting, unlike Luna, who can walk away. So when you see that Resurgence, you use that Groot, that Strangling Prison, to focus him down and burn through the strat ult. It's a good answer to triple, and
Oh
so
my
is
God, yeah,
Rocket,
release the
and they
bald
find
spot.
that answer there, but it might have been a bit of an
We need
overcommitment.
Yeah, it might have been.
Release
Yeah, we lost. They like to come back in these fights no matter what. Kendrick gonna have a big eye of Agamotto, surely, but Brady, I think he's been a big difference maker on this Luna Snow. Can they block off the heals after this eye is set up by Kendrick?
A minute and 18 on as the next fight begins. Eye of Agamotto's been non-stop huge. Will it happen again? No, goodbye. That's going to be the first pick from Guru onto Kendrick, who's using this rage on Dino to get the first pick. Luca going to commit even after the fact as Jitward does the same with the test. You can see Cal trying to look for that backline. Great focus. Not even looking at those Vanguards. Take that into ladder, folks, as you make sure you look at that strat line. Nothing works there. Mask is able to take out BTS. Unknown trying to find one. Going to wall off Jitward, who's still heading towards that backline. Gets kidnapped.
Wait,
I don't know
what
if
the
that was
heck?
intentional or not. Gonna wall off to bide more time. It's got to get this touch, man. This might go. Yeah, we lost. Wait, what a dance there.
Jesus.
Back on the point. Can they maintain? No, Guru jumps off. Got to get back on point. False. And that will be point one from Yeah, we lost.
Oh,
Oh
they
my God,
used.
and the Groot too at the very end from
Oh
Unknown. He
no,
tried
bro!
to
This
keep
looks like
it,
my ranked
you know, moving
teammate right
forward
here,
that-
man.
that
Oh
point,
no!
but yeah, the portal block kind of came through.
They
Made things a
used
bit confusing for the
Groot
side of
after they-
TSM, who
Come
now
on,
into the
chat.
second phase for Yeah, we lost, and that was a little bit of a struggle bus though. Still, regardless, until they
Bro.
get that Ultron's rage, it feels like every time Mask has that ult, they're able to get the win. For TSM though, you talk about. I mean, they can win this upcoming fight with the See You Later. The Groot ult, I think, enabled it a lot. So they're going to rely heavily on BTS here with that Glartrox, as there's some early almost picks onto Brady set up for Yeah, we lost.
Yeah, keep your eyes out for the Glartrox, as you just discussed. The
He
Sia.
didn't even
now
switch.
it's
He
about
used his ult
answering
and
from
just-
TSM, but
oh,
instead they're being proactive. They're going to try to get ahead of it with the Sia now, where they find value through. Zatex should have ult here, electing to commit it. So it is going to be a potential answer, as they're looking for something. Brady able to find one there. Guru now heading towards that back line. It seems like everyone's just kind of separating and stalling for the moment, letting some of these ultimates run out, as Zatex no longer going to have that resurgence and instead is going to pay for it, as Bedtime Story finds that pick.
Oh, yeah, you're
TSM's
cheering
are
for
holding on the
TSM,
first
right?
half here, but there's still 2 full minutes on the clock. Very defensible, but also very much a ton of time to have a huge ult advantage fight here for Yeah, we lost.
Yeah, this has been the strength for TSM, is playing around that See You Later, but they need to win fights without it. Right, Cal last time in the Unsung Inferno got deleted. It was a very close
Yo,
one,
just
too.
made a
I mean, that was
stream.
excellent
Yo,
target
welcome,
focus,
welcome,
but yeah,
welcome.
we lost. And again, they have the combo. Can they deal with it? Right, gonna be so much value in Kendrick's ult with the shield from the Hulk, and then same thing with the Ultron's rage. Maybe they can wait and buy time for Unknown to hit a big Trinity Prison.
The next fight begins. There's that Rage of Ultron, mentioning getting a ton of value. Doesn't look like it gets anything just there. Forces them backwards, burning a couple cooldowns, but nothing too major. In terms of the answering ult front,
Okay,
Cal
let's see this.
gonna be ready with the Phoenix. Kendrick looking for this eye, but a great mark there from Guru, who's gonna commit
Yeah,
heavy
this is pop his
right now
ult.
with the Rampage and just try to get this pick, knowing that Eye of Agamotto's on the
Oh,
table.
he's getting bullied right
100
now.
HP,
Oh
make
my
it
God.
30.
Oh my
Goodbye.
God.
Guru
He
finds
got
Kendrick.
bullied
Cal
in that
on
room.
the Zatex. Jitward goes down for
Gary,
BTS, and
appreciate the massive
TSM are
prize, my
coming
friend. How
back
you
to
doing? How
life,
you doing?
much
Yeah,
like
poor
Frankenstein,
Kendrick, bro.
but
He
can they
actually
hold
got
it here
bullied. But
with a minute
TSM
left?
can win this
Yeah,
map,
what a
though.
play by Guru. You talked about it, just absolutely stun locking and body blocking.
TSM can win this. They have both support ults, and they almost have the
upcoming fight, though,
release
with
the bald
boundary available
spot.
for Xantho. Kendrick as well with the ult. Brady could maybe stuff this out with his ultimate as well, keep everybody healthy. They also have that See You Later, which they win with over and over again. But can they keep this back line alive? Can Brady and Gilbert stay alive long enough to get that See You Later out in the field?
There, ooh, I thought the eye was coming there, but it doesn't even need it. Goodbye to Bedtime with a commitment. Zatex finds one. The res comes in from BTS. The team's got to play slow as Al goes at a missable boundary. Bedtime.
That was really smart, by the way, chat. What he's doing is that he's holding up his. Oh my God! What he was doing is he was holding up his shield in front of the guy to block off the healing. You can use your shield to block off healing, by the way.
And that's going to take out Xantho. A backline pick. Even more here for TSM on this hold. Will they keep this up?
No
It
way.
is a
Come
two
on,
now
come
as
on,
the race
TSM.
gets committed. 4 seconds on the clock. Goodbye, Kendrick. TSM might have done it. Will the OT teleport get in
Shiv's
here?
casting,
from
bro.
Xantho? We'll find out in
Shiv
just
knows
a
how to
moment,
bring
but
the
what a hold
hype,
so
chat.
far.
I mean, Guru just played excellent so far at the very end. Portal has to come now. There it is, but they're not jumping out of time, and TSM have done
bro,
it.
I thought they were gonna. I thought they were throwing this game.
We're going to a map
We
number 3.
are going to a map
Really good
number
marking there from Guru. I gotta
3.
say, you know that eye is on the table. And from that first fight that we saw as they pushed to point
Yeah,
2,
Guru popped off.
the Eye of Agamotto, and then just marking from then on with a huge cancel
I
at
think
the final fight. What a
I
win
think
here
that
for TSM.
ban on Black
We're
Cat
bouncing
and
back.
Daredevil was a
Yeah,
huge.
this
Those
kinda
were huge
proves to me
bans.
that we can't give these freaking hit scan teams these Elsas, these Phoenixes. We'll see what the changes are for. Yeah, we lost. As TSM just won that map.
I think
tied
they're
it up.
gonna go to a
Map number
break.
3 will be chosen after this break.
Bro, that was so good by TSM, dude. Guru bullying Kendrick in that corner of the map was funny. Oh my. Also, I didn't really agree with what Unovan did when like they capped first point, he ran out on Groot and then he ulted. Like that was such a late ult, bro. Yeah. Who was playing the dinosaur? Was it Groot? Yes. Yeah. It also, Mental is a very strong dude. That was a huge ult too. Kendrick has been popping off on the Strange, but Mental is going to be very important for YWL. YWL seems like that team that would very... It might be true, it might not be, but YWL seems like the team that would tilt each other. If they lose a round, they're probably going to start blaming people. I don't know. Okay, chat, I'm going to go to the bathroom real quick. I just got to pee, and I'll be right back in 10 seconds.
Hey guys, my name is Ryan Central and welcome back to What's the Meta. We're more than halfway through the group stages of Stage 1 across the Ignite globe at this point, and the meta footprint that Devil Dinosaurs left us has settled somewhat, so according to the data, what are the teams discovering? We have to talk about what stayed the same, and the top 2 kings of the meta are still exactly the same. Gambit is pretty much the priority when it comes to a first ban. We don't get to see him. I think we've spoken about him enough, we all know why. And Devil Dinosaur is still number 2. Teams are protecting Devil Dinosaur because everybody else is. The stats sort of line up that if you have Devil Dinosaur and the other team does not, you have a pretty decent win rate. So they're protecting Dino because when one team gets him, that team usually wins because he's so easy to incorporate into a composition. He's very good at shutting down some of the more like brittle duelists that want to be a little bit more divey. And so he's just a great character to sort of put in the middle of the map and honestly just build around with the damage that he deals, the damage that he blocks, and just the way that he's able to stall and fight on objectives. Yeah, Devil Dinosaur is pretty good and one of your mainstay vanguards for the time being. That's all standard. We could see that in the games that we saw last week, but what has actually changed? When it comes to big winners, there's none more so than Rocket Raccoon. He didn't just become more popular, teams discovered just how to win with him with how he plays. Obviously, he's been buffed over the last couple of seasons, is looking really good. The likes of Be Right Back.
How much time do we have? We have 3 minutes and 20 seconds.
Long, drawn-out team
okay, chat, hold on. I gotta check something.
It's hard to eliminate anybody because you've got the likes of Devil
you guys,
Dinosaur.
I'm gracing you guys
Devil
with
Dinosaur,
my
Be Right
face
Back
for about
instantly brings him
5
back into the
seconds.
fray.
I'm just gonna check something.
Yeah, it's going to be frustrating. The team up with Star-Lord is obviously very good because Star-Lord got buffed. And the fact that Rocket is very good with his survivability. The fact that a Daredevil or a Black Cat can jump on him, try to eliminate him,
you
and
guys
he's able
compliment
to
me on
sneak
how my
out.
hair looks
Goes
because
to
my
show
hair is
a lot
looking
of what
beautiful.
strategists can do to make sure that they don't get picked off when it's important. Resource generation, the Iron Amplifier as an ultimate,
one
just
second,
damage
chat,
boost
1
for
second, sorry.
everybody, is a key thing to win out some of these long drawn-out fights where there's so much sustain. And Rocket can put out a good amount of damage, but he can obviously put out a metric ton of healing too. So yeah, Rocket is one of the main winners when it comes to how much he is shot up the rankings when it comes to not only a protect priority, but also a ban priority too. And his win rate when one team gets him and the other one doesn't is pretty high. One of the highest that we've seen so far.
1 second,
like almost
chat.
2/3 of the time high. So yeah, he's good. And because Rocket got stronger, one of the characters that benefits from him the most and is also a pretty good answer to him got stronger too, that being Phoenix, Jean Grey. She's very good at destroying the deployables with her ultimate.
Sorry. I just gotta check one thing, chat. I just gotta check one thing.
Solo Jean Grey when you're running triple strategist is a great way to actually find eliminations in high sustain. And he just synergizes really well with Phoenix as pretty much become one of the major options for a duelist outside of Star-Lord, now that Elsa's sort of fallen out of the fray. And because these two have shot up in popularity, some of the other options that were trying to contest them have fallen down a little bit in the choice order. And one of the major ones actually for losers is Black Cat. She remains a popular hero for teams, but we're not seeing teams nearly spend as much like capital guaranteeing.
Are you sending
access
TSM
to her.
money
Her
to
protect
throw the
cost,
match?
she was a common like, we want to protect this character
like
so
I
it doesn't
have
get
money to
banned.
give people
We're going to
chat?
try and one-side it if we can.
I have a mortgage
That
to pay
hasn't
off for the
really
next
worked. Like the win rate is still
27
pretty underwhelming,
years.
like under
Listen,
50%. If a team gets Black Cat and the other team doesn't, they don't win the majority of the time because other stuff is banned out as an option.
What is that?
So Black Cat just isn't providing that much.
In 2053 or something,
it just seems that teams are still
when we're all still watching each other, you guys are
protecting
still in my chat and watching me. Listen,
and
we're all
we're not
27 years older.
We want to get some of the other
We can start paying
out
people
that
off
we've
in
mentioned
Marvel
instead if we
Rivals
can.
and whatever
It just feels like
game
Black
we're
Cat
watching.
is
I guess
fine, but
Marvel
she's
Rivals
not
5.
super strong that we need to get rid of her fine or protect her in this case. She's just not being treated as a hero that you must secure. But she's not the only one that's sort of dropped down. Like White Fox's popularity has gone down, Captain America's popularity has gone down, Luna even, who's quite high up in the rankings, has dropped a good chunk. As Ultron, who isn't seen half as
Jay
much as
look
before.
like the
Not
old
because they're
grandpas at the
objectively
grocery
worse
store who
characters.
stare
It's
at
just
you.
because Rocket and Jean
That's
Grey
so
are demanding a lot
specific.
more attention from
What?
teams, and that sort of attention needs to come from somewhere. I am really curious to see what we see in like
I
the
owe
last
$6,000 left on my house. I'll
considering at
be
least
done
for, like,
paying this
EMEA
year.
in
Yo,
Americas, there's a
congratulations.
month
That's a
they're gonna
huge
have Cyclops
accomplishment,
in the
bro.
game when we
You know
hit
what
the
you should
stage
do?
one playoffs. So the
When
meta
you,
is
like,
going to change a lot.
when
so I'm
you
excited to
finish
see what
paying
this
off your
last week of
house, that
action
is such a
going to give
massive
us
accomplishment.
before we go
Like
into
this
season
day and age, bro.
8.5.
Houses are
I
very
hope you found this
expensive. So
interesting.
when you
Thanks for watching,
finish paying
and
off
let's
your
get back
house,
to the
bro, and
action.
you have like all this money to spend, make sure you like take some time for yourself and just like come to J3 stream and just start gifting a lot of subs at like a celebrate.
Welcome back, friends. We have got a series on our hand. TSM is tying it up 1-1. The score now against We Lost. And it seems like this one kind of, I don't want to say it's got
that's huge,
decided in the
congratulations.
lock and ban phase, but I think certainly TSM
What?
came
What
away
did
from
Chocolate
that
just
one
say?
in high spirits, since it
Jay
opened up
looks like
for
the
them to play
Gerber baby
Phoenix
if the
and
baby
Elsa,
grew up.
which you
Mods!
guys talked about it during the cast.
Ban that
That's
guy!
not the
What
team
are we
you wanna
doing, bro?
give
Where's my
those hitscan
mods?
heroes to.
No, I mean, this TSM team, man, is just, they're so good at hit scans. It's tough. Like they said, the last week,
J3
SSG made
looks
the
like
same problems where they
Yoda
allowed
if
them
he
to
was a
play,
human. What?
Phoenix and stuff. At least got to get rid of the Phoenix, probably. I mean, Elsa's really strong, too. Don't get me wrong, but I would be down for getting rid of those characters just because, those guys got hands on both hit scan characters.
Yeah, I think this team, like, we talked about win rate percentage, right? And obviously we saw the Rocket at 48% roughly, and we said that's really good. Again, just to reiterate for folks, that, you're seeing a lot of dual matchups too. So being around 50% is a really good sign. But yeah, just to kind of talk about additionally, Phoenix is at that 50% value, and so is Daredevil, right? So both very strong heroes, especially on a team that's great with hit scan. So can't allow that to happen. And then they tried to run the triple into the Rocket Groot, which is the best real answers for triple right now. So that is a tough way to try to get through on the attack phase for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it was a close match in the very end there. Which players individually stood out to you, Dogman?
I mean, TSM, I feel like for their MVP, it's got to be probably
let the dog out?
BTS or something, right? It was, or Brady in the last fight, I guess, in the Luna Snow.
Hey,
That's another thing, actually. It's just
Brady,
this
25 and 5 with 37
Was
assists.
that Brady's not playing the Luna Snow,
40
first of all. Like, that was kind of a big deal
4,000
because
England.
this guy was literally insane last week on Luna Snow. I mean, we've seen Luna Snow players kind of carry games, too. Like, I think yesterday, to me, Valentina had one of the best, if not the best, Luna Snow performance on domination I've seen this season and really in the past, too. Like, Luna is a hard carry character. If you're hitting your cooldowns, if you're doing everything. I think Guru played a really good map. That was an excellent team map, I think, for TSM on defense. But yeah, they're doing it through Brady onto the Luna Snow. That's why, like, the Loki stuff, I get in the ban phase a little bit, but it's, you got to focus probably either on, making sure Brady can't play Luna Snow. But to be honest, it's probably more so around like Cal
true.
and BTS being
when
on
I have a
hit scans
child,
and, like,
I'm gonna
Phoenix
name
and
them
Elsa.
J3.
Like, if we can get
boy
rid
or
of
girl,
Phoenix, probably,
boy or
I
girl
think,
doesn't matter. All the kids
I'm
at school will
fine
know
with
who
dealing
runs the
with Bucky,
playground.
Elsa, maybe,
True.
or something that they're going to play because obviously they looked a little bit confused outside of that. But we lost. Got to mix up their ban phase because we can't be giving them this backline. And for TSM, we have to focus on making sure that we can keep playing Luna Snow. I think that's going to be a priority for them moving forward.
Yes, we're looking at the numbers here. What is standing out to you, Ship?
A lot of things standing out to me. Kendrick obviously on the Strange was a problem, but I do think that Guru did a good job marking. You know, if I'm going to pick somebody, at least in the last fight, I think I shout out Guru just because you really shut down that Eye of Agamotto, which was a huge win condition there for the side of we lost. So huge marking going 30-4, but stat-wise, I mean, 14 finals, 18 for Cal and BTS. You talk about the hit scan warriors, and there they are.
I like that bedtime story. Like he's sacrificial lamb there a little bit, but kind of goes with the territory. But yeah, Elsa, it's such a funny hair discussion here, since Elsa is obviously not a prio ban anymore now with everything else that is going on in the meta, but can still cause quite some issues and quite some trouble for the opposing team if there is the right Elsa on the mouse and keyboard here, Dogman.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they figured out like they could do the damage boost stuff, but then that's reliant on like ultimate rotations.
Yo, who's in the kitchen, bro? Was that a microwave?
Like and Gilbert popping off nearly 80k.
Yo, who's
90K
cooking?
Healing, done just in those two. Like the healing output in this patch is a little insane for like the kind of characters that can do a ton of healing in Luna Snow, in Invis, in Rocket specifically. Like these characters do so much. In terms of healing, and then the see you later with the overhealth too,
bro.
There's just a lot of value in those characters.
Bro?
And then when we're off of the Daredevil, when we're off of the Black Cat, I think these are the characters that enable we lost to play fast and get those KOs and make sure you can't play Luna Snow. But obviously, when those characters are banned, the next best character is going to be that Elsa.
I don't have a microwave
in
my stream room,
They're playing
bro.
more around Kendrick, more around Mask, and more around Jitward. Whereas I think at that point, I would like to see them maybe
somebody's
enable,
reheating their
Zatex,
leftover
who's popping
Taco
off
Bell.
on
Ew,
his
that
own
sounds
Elsa,
disgusting.
for example.
Yeah, now we lost obviously has the map pick.
Do
Let's
you
see
guys
where they take
reheat
us.
fast food?
Symbiotic
I think reheating fast food is
Surface.
disgusting.
Any initial thoughts on that pick for you, Shib?
Symbiotic Surface, it does have a lot of like high ground initiation,
you know who
flank
reheats
potential
their
for
fast
dive.
food?
So we might see
I
some
think
fun
Flats
plays
does that.
taking off angles, especially point one. I think a lot of teams, you know, initially are running front to back down that main center point, but that changes heavily as you move through up the ranks. If you see something on that main line like a Penny, just go up that right side, really good for dive. So we might see some unique strategies, some different plays from them, and I'm definitely looking forward to it and seeing how TSM could respond.
Score is 1-1 between TSM and we lost. The winning team will be moving up a little bit in the standing and potentially punching their tickets tomorrow for the playoff. Everything on the line, guys, please take it away.
Reheating fast food's disgusting.
All
That's
right,
not true
as we
at
head
all.
in, my
What?
brother, to the
Fast
final. Of course,
food
it's a game 3, man.
is
We were
supposed to
saying
be,
that we wanted to see a
something
game
you
3,
order
and
and
we
you
finally
eat right
have
there
it
on the
here.
spot,
And what do you know?
it's
Goodbye,
fast.
Gambit.
You don't order
might as well,
15
if you're a
Big
betting
Macs or
man,
something
you know, you
and then
gotta
put
say
like 10 of
Gambit
them
off
in the
rip every
fridge
time.
and eat 5.
Yeah, no,
and
that
then have
Gambit,
5 later.
has
Like, what doesn't make any
been
sense.
a
That's
disgusting
disgusting.
character, and is going to keep getting banned. But I thought this week, actually, out of every week, as the Mantis ban comes in the opposite side due to that early protect for we lost. But I don't mind it. Maybe stop playing the triple comp and play something else. But yeah, the Black Cat, I guess, to make sure they play around Jitward. That's
You
been
don't
their
meal
kind of calling
prep
card.
fast food.
But
What
that
are you
again
guys
is the worry
saying?
part. Is I think Black Cat and Daredevil comps can be shut down in this patch a little bit more so than in previous ones. So, you know, I'd be curious what TSM want to do. Obviously, they need to keep the Phoenix and stuff. If they can keep those characters, they'll be sitting pretty. But both bans are going to come through in a moment here. We'll see.
They
lost.
saved.
Maybe you want to stick to
They
that
saved
ban
Black
phase,
Cat
but
so they don't do a
again,
repeat of what they just
like
did.
Zoe mentioned, there's like 256 different outcomes, or sorry, 264 different 256 outcomes that can happen in this group stage. So there's so many scenarios that we lost qualify, TSM qualify, even if things go right today for either side. But Phoenix ban comes through for we lost. That makes sense, right, Chip?
Yeah, I think like you called, just too strong of a hero to allow through a team that's great on hit scan, the best hit scan hero. So it makes a ton of sense to me. I think Star-Lord's in that conversation, though Star-Lord kind of melds into a bunch of different compositions, brawly stuff too, even dive stuff with that blaster barrage, and alting with Rocket, which is a good answer to triple, as there is that lock-in from Rocket. It found value last time when they wanted to run the triple. You mentioned, and you and I both said, I think Fox could also play into that role. Maybe they're not as comfortable on Fox right now. So instead, that answer is going to be Rocket for them. And if that's the solution they stick with, it worked for them. Why not do it again?
Yeah, I mean, I'm liking this ban phase for we lost so far. The Loki ban comes through at the very end. And it's because of, I guess, what you said with the Loki doing very well last week. I don't know. I mean, like, I would kind of prefer to I guess they're not even trying to go for peel comps. It all depends on what these two teams like actually do, because I feel like there's some slight changes rather that both teams could make during the games. The ban phase does matter, don't get me wrong. But they're gonna keep the Jeff this time, Shiv. They're protecting Jeff because the first map they banned it, right?
Yeah, Jeff enables dive comps. You essentially, you and I have said on cast before, I think it's worth mentioning again, Jeff, what you want to do is you want to be behind the enemy and heal your team through them while dealing damage and healing at the same time, forcing eyes backwards, and it just allows your dive heroes to get in there in the mix while not being solely focused on. They get speed boost, they get constant healing, and strong damage from Jeff. Jeff really does just make those comps so much better. I think it was a great ban from TSM, but now it's an even better lock right now from Yeah We Lost. I think it's going to help their comp a ton, especially with Cat, man.
Yeah, for sure. And we have the Daredevil ban on TSM's side. So, I'm wondering what TSM want to do. But you know what? Honestly, in that very end of the ban phase, I feel like TSM reacted pretty well to what's happening. And then for Yeah We Lost, obviously they're going to play around the Black Cat for Jitward. We'll see how that kind of goes. But because Cal's been picking up a lot of the Daredevil too, right? And I think Black Cat has been like a decent, Daredevil's been like a decent counter to Black Cat too.
No teams ban Strange. There's some teams that ban Strange, but I don't think Strange is. I mean, a teleport is really good, but I think there's a lot of other characters that you would rather get out of the game than Strange.
To force this game number 3, which, as you guys
and a lot of people, for an example, are saying, why didn't they just ban Black Cat? Well, chat, if you ban Black Cat first, they're going to save Gambit. And listen, you don't leave Gambit out there, bro.
Right?
Oh, Wheat!
Buddy, but do you see what I'm saying in the top left here? Gilbert Noodle is making the switch and is on that penny. We talked about Gilbert being able to make that play happen, and Unknown is going to be in the back line now on the Rocket. So this is very much one of those maps you can play well around Penny down the center. But folks, like I had just talked about early on, instead of fighting center, this team is going to probably elect to either, a portal play. Yep, it is going to be a portal play, I think. Or if not, head down that right side. So portal play is happening.
What's Kendrick doing, bro?
Instead, it's going to potentially try to kidnap. I'm not quite sure what Kendrick's thinking here.
Kendrick just looking around, trying to find where those mines are probably, or just zone off the back line. There it is. There's the Penny Parker mines on the inside. Throwing it on the ground in a moment, surely towards Gilbert Noodle, maybe find that kidnap or something.
Almost gets it. Gilbert's back was through the portal, but not enough. The trade is there, though, 1 for 1. Luca able to find Gilbert on a full commit after the portal goes through. Kendrick now going to go to the other side of the portal to meet the team there. Love that play. As you can see, the Fox being pulled out here from Yeah We Lost this team already.
But I liked it.
A ton of aggression on point. Brady able to find Luca is a huge pick.
That thing off, and then also he went through it.
Zaytex on a Brady to trade that back. And another pick as Xantho finds Cal, and Zaytex again onto Guru. What a start here for Yeah We Lost, .1.
I mean, both teams making adjustments. The problem is, I guess, with having Unknown on the Rocket Raccoon is...
YWL won that with a solo healer, by the way.
Raccoon has been like a heal-bot character, fully AFK in the brain and in the physical manifestation of it. I just it's not this patch though, right? I feel like you could do a ton on this character, at least with positioning and damage output.
I like
too,
YWL as a team.
a lot of Rocket players have improved, and I wonder if Unknown can
they have a lot of
like
interesting stuff that they do.
Like you said, playing that Jeff,
very unorthodox, but it works.
Back on the Elsa.
I like that.
That might be the change up Yeah We Lost need, because at the current moment, that's going to be a really good mix-up for them.
As we start our second fight here, good comms there, my friend, as Zaytex takes out Brady. Gilbert going to trade that once more back and forth, but Cal, who's back on that Bucky, takes out Mask, trying to slow this pace. That's another pick. I like this pick here for Cal. Oh my goodness, somebody stopped him on Bucky now with what a shot there onto Kendrick on the Jeff. You talk about how that Jeff made it through the ban phase and enables the dive stuff. I think it is going to be a tough comp to hold against. It's going to be a lot of this kind of peel duty on Cal's back.
Yeah, they're going to keep doing this hard int around Jitward, right? That's kind of the play for them so far, as Jitward's all the way, by the way, back towards TSM spawn to set up that dive. You can see Xantho's just brain off going into the backline too, into that claw form, kind of trying to ignore Cal. They need to get those KOs in the middle of the fight, and that's the thing. Can you keep shutting them down early? Can BTS find these KOs? Same thing with Cal, without going down, because they kept losing their backline on the previous maps. We'll see if they can mix it up here. Brady is onto that white fox to help peel, but they still lose Cal and BTS.
We see as Unknown brings back BTS. Gilbert gonna find Zaytex off the back of an ultimate. That time comes in and immediately drops Jitward now on that double peel. Luca gonna find Brady. Sia gets committed, and now we're gonna see if there is a trade back. I mean, they were up numbers heavy, but Xantho gonna commit the Fox, so everybody pressing Q, even when numbers are down like this. Xantho trying to find frontline on a Gilbert Noodle, who has literally 10% HP. What a bounce back, though. Cal gonna find the reset, make it a two-piece. Do I see more? Cal, I do.
My God.
That's gonna be a quadra
Oh my God. Stop it, Cal. Stop it.
Here with a Kraken impact.
And that the big change up is, by the way, Mask by the going to spawn.
I just want to let you guys know,
keep leaving somebody back there.
I talked taught
The big
Cal how to
change
do
up is,
that.
like you said, Cal, huge ultimate there.
True
But
story.
Freddy, going over to the White Fox, you have a strategist player that has hands now. You're not just falling over in
True
the
story.
back line. Freddy doing a good job, at least staggering out his life, living as long as possible.
Remember when I said I had to go to the bathroom, chat, and I walked away from
and
the
at least
stream?
people live long enough to
I was
find
actually
these
on my
trades.
other computer
It should be
teaching
a
Cal how to
decent
play
spot if
Bucky
Max
real
sets
quick.
up behind.
Spend 5 seconds with Jay3 chat.
Gonna
He
see
can
the
teach
next
you a lot
fight
of
set
safe
up
ways.
here.
No, that sounds weird.
Absolutely disgusting ultimate commitment there.
never mind.
BTS gonna try to
Never mind.
pressure right back with the Glartrox. Is it enough here? There's gonna be a couple answers. Mask gonna launch. Jitward does the same. Kendrick goes under with the It's Jeff. Does it find enough? Trying to get to the sky. Jitward, Zaytax, and Luca gonna find a 3-piece, and that's gonna force the retake here. Portal likely going to be committed as we see Cal following, or going to probably be staggered. Gilbert gets the pick, but yeah, down goes Cal.
Yeah, somebody towards the spawn. Yeah, again, going so deep. Zaytex all the way towards the right side. Full int for YWL. They just want to keep this aggression up. For TSM, though, unfortunately, could not get the value out of the White Fox ult. BTS goes over to the Psylocke now, of all things.
Oh, no,
Nice
Gilbert,
job to
no.
wall off Gilbert Noodle, who walked too far forward.
You
He's gonna
can't
get
do that, bro.
staggered
You can't
by
do that,
their
man.
team. BRB
He
brings
was
it
all
back,
by
though. Somebody
himself,
has to
and he
touch
just
last
died
second with 2
instantly.
minutes left.
And the wall closed
Yeah,
on
the
them.
portal's coming in with 1 meter. It makes it happen. Gilbert with the strangling prison. Are they going to find value? Down goes Xantho, a strategist. Is deleted for now. Still holding on to this point. Zaytex trying to get a pick back, but instead they're going to be driven away. Notice the cart has been switched. They're feeling more confident, able to lead that for the moment. Luca tries to commit with a feast to stall for even longer, but instead they see ya as an answer and drive the entirety of We Lost back, who will not answer and instead kite, which I think is a smart decision.
Yeah, it is. But this is where, like, I kind of would want we lost to put Jitward over to the Wolverine right now. I mean, there's nothing to help sort of peel it off. You can get grabs onto Guru, Gilbert, whoever. This time they want to set up the aggression for TSM. Cal does get poked out. They have to fall back yet again and help peel off of the dive from we lost.
The next fight begins now. Luca drops Cal mid-ultimate. That is an absolutely insane pick. Jitward gonna
shit.
find 2.
Okay.
Just so good on this hero. Guru trades with Zaytax. Luca gonna find 2. That's just it. They're definitely getting point 2 here and moving forward. What a fight from We Lost off the back of that decision to drop backwards. Unfortunate there from Unknown.
I think if
to be
TSM
using
held that, they
Sia.
would
It
have
was a
won,
good
but
idea
I
in the
don't
moment,
think
but the whole
TSM's
team just
gonna
had
win
the wherewithal
anymore.
to just drop back, reset for a new fight, use every Q in the next, and win it.
Yeah, I don't know why. I mean, like, I get the Psylocke a little bit, but I wouldn't mind if BTS switches back over to the Elsa again. I mean, he was doing really good work on that character as he set up yet another dive. Just keep diving the back line for We Lost. They want to make sure that
If you
they get
think
these
Black
KOs
Cat
onto the
is
strat and start
broken,
ignoring
you are
tanks.
in
So that's why they're
gold
doing
or
the Wolverine
lower.
strat that I mentioned. Their game plan's a completely different one that's working for them so far in this next phase.
Well, that's a take. I'm
And
not going
there
to say
is
if it's a
even
good or a
more
bad one, but
follow-up. Jit, we're going to
yeah,
use
that's
that
a take.
portal to scare back line. Out goes the dance of the butterfly from BTS. I'm not sure that's going to get value. It doesn't. Xantho onto Unknown. The res comes through, but it doesn't matter as BTS now falls from Mask. Cal trades it with Kendrick. Gilbert goes down to Jitward, who's keeping this train rolling, trying to find another. Freddy goes down. Jitward gets 3 now. Oh, come on.
Yeah, this character,
These
chat, this
massive
character needs
ultimates
buffs,
have
chat.
just been so
Can I get a
consistent from
true,
both
bro?
sides.
On the
I don't
cards
think this
towards the
character
very
is that
end,
good.
BTS now makes the swap over to Elsa, but it might be too little too late. Zaytax with the ultimate is available. Unknown has had big strength in prisons, though, but they have to touch with a very slow comp. Oh my god, the Glartrox gets full tanks.
Wow.
Toward the front line, they go
You know,
down. Bedtime story.
While we're
Guru
talking about, wait, what are we doing? Production? What are we
That
doing?
is a full push there. That point 3 was so in the palms.
You know
of,
what?
yeah,
While
we
we're
lost.
talking about
Didn't even
characters that
look
need
like
buffs,
TSM knew
I
what
think
to do to
Elsa's
answer
buff,
it.
I think
Just
it's what,
off the back of a
7
very
seconds
strong
now? They
point
need to
2
change it
hold.
back to
It just
12.
kind of crumbled. Yeah, we lost. Are not nervous now. The question is, will this go to OT? Can TSM bounce back?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, they were doing fine. Like, in
Yeah, I
the
think it's
second
a
phase,
GG
they
stuff.
were doing okay.
Oh, no.
I get the Psylocke's going to be probably maybe a little bit better than the Elsa there in that second phase, but especially in third with how much space you have. I mean, he could pop off. I think also Jitward was doing a good job sort of playing it slower, living in that third phase. He was popping off. So, like I said, there's always multiple solutions to the problems in Marvel Rivals esports, and Jitward, you know, sticking on that character. Sticking to the game plan was enabling his team, and now
I gotta listen to the donation.
you know,
Sorry,
switching
you're banned.
sides in TSM.
Isaki, appreciate the
We'll
massive
see if they
donut,
can
my
play
friend.
again around their hit scan players with Cal once more Unknown, making that switch back over to the Groot instead of the other Vanguards on his team.
Yeah, it's a little tricky, man. I mean, it seems like this team, you know, it's tough, right? Because they do play so many different roles and they're still in the process of switching roles up. You can just see the kind of mismatch. And when you full role swap like that, it's very difficult to
J3, what
coordinate
should they
it well
do
with
with
your team while
Panther?
still keeping alts. You know, you're just your alt advantage wherever you're at in the
man.
moment. So not only, you know, are you trying to switch off, you know, Vanguard and go strategist, but then it's like, all right, are you KO'd? Are you even able to go strategist? So we have 2 on the field at the same time. And that conversation makes things a little bit more dicey, but We'll see what TSM is able to do, as right now Unknown is on the thing and is going to try to be on peel duty while Guru is on that dinosaur.
I mean, Black Cat can be pretty hard to appeal for.
Yeah, I don't think Fi was doing anything.
I don't know. I mean, Cal was showing the Daredevil before and stuff, and I think that would be a decent solution to find Jitward.
Their Black Cat didn't feel like
yeah, we lost
he was putting
again,
on any
setting up for a
pressure.
very early dive. They've done this before. This time Xantho goes down early. Excellent job by Cal to find that pick.
We're going to look now as Jitward applies more pressure, and that is going to be the first pick onto Gilbert Noodle. Back at the spawn door. Unknown in BTS. Trade it, though. A 2-for-1. There's no BRB either. And Cal's able to find Zatex. They are heavily up in numbers as they start sprinting forward. Potentially a portal play coming out here from YWL. I'm not sure if they think they need it.
I'm surprised Guru is not doing his 45-second
should be at
portal
least
plays.
a couple ticks here on point.
He said he was going to do
TSM,
it.
will they convert?
I mean, Xantho's going to have to portal to somebody farther away. Gets grabbed by Cal, who went to the high ground. Nice work by Cal. Mask also pops the ultimate and goes down, so they're getting staggered now. However, we're not even getting ticks on the board. We're going for KOs here. Need to try to win the fight, but at least get some presence towards the point. So they're split again. TSM made this mistake on the domination round. We'll see if they mix it up, though. They have 4 on the point to help secure it, and Jitward goes down.
Yeah, I actually didn't mind the idea there from YWL in the retake, immediately going after strats and then taking point. But the problem is, when you go to the point, you see a dinosaur in the thing, you're like, oh, wait a minute, this might be tough, especially when you're full dive. And Cal on Bucky, so they were able to hold on there. 5 minutes on the clock. What an attack start for TSM. But this is that defensible position that teams tend to find at least a few minutes on.
Yeah, with this extra peel, it might be a little bit easier. Like you mentioned, the thing coming out. I mean, there's a lot of different ways to deal with the YWL comp, and this is the one they're going to kind of stick with.
Very interesting,
Xantho needs to kind of just like live in the middle of these fights. Cal's been doing a good job, excellent job shutting it down. The White Fox trying to come in for the heals, passive around the team. That they go for the dive, but Luca goes down in the middle of it. Nice job by Cal.
YWL plays a lot
from them as well.
Yeah,
that is true, but I do like how YWL plays.
Oh, there's the combination. Glortrox goes out. Brady able to find Jitward.
I like how YWL plays because they're always setting the momentum. They're always engaging first, so they're always putting TSM or the team that they're playing against on the back foot, and they have to play reactionary.
Use Cal, Gilbert, and BTS.
So they can never set their own momentum.
But
you have to be very coordinated to do that. And YWL,
that's a ton of commitment, yeah. And then the staggers.
They don't really seem coordinated right now.
We lost. They're doing a good job leaving for now, but TSM's peel, yeah, they definitely need it. But their peel has been so good. Nice job to get that Van Hammer onto the Bucky, but Luca needs not go down. Use the ult to split.
Yeah, that Van Hammer's tough. I mean, using some of that overhealth to stay healthy for the moment, but yeah, it's going to be a full team sweep there off the back of only a few.
When you have a team always engaging on you, and you can never do a plan that you like, hey, next fight, guys, we're going to do this and this and this. Let's do that. But if you're always on the back foot and they're always pressuring you first and they're always setting the momentum, you're never going to have your own, like, you know, you're never going to have your own momentum. And you can never play how you want to play. You're always going to be playing into what YWL wants to do, you know?
For a comp like this.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. It's been really good for them. Yeah, let's go for that full dive with Glortrox. Does get the dance floor forced out, but is everybody there inside the dance floor to keep them alive? They are.
Xantho going to start with the coming home unleashed. Kendrick ready for the itch Jeff. It's under Jitward, full commitment. Yeah, we lost using everything here. They're going to need to get value. What a freeze to slow that up. Ready, doing that consistently. Cal goes down though to Mass. Jitward comes right out with a vengeance. Finds a 2-piece looking for.
Oh, don't worry. It doesn't matter if he frees the character anyway. The character's still broken.
Not quite yet. Oh, goodbye, Guru. It actually might have spoke too soon. Goodbye as the Quadra comes out from Jitward.
And this is the tough part. TSM need to find these KOs in the middle of the fight. So at least, you know, we did get all the strat ults out from we lost. We do also have the Thing ultimate as well as the Glortrox. Those have been big before. But again, they need to find these KOs. It's on Cal and it's on BTS. Everybody needs to kind of help peel for them a little bit more so too. I wouldn't be surprised if they could try to go to White Box later on. BTS gets dove upon, but the peel job is there from the Thing.
Yeah, no one able to take out Jitward early is a huge start here. TSM needs to keep that momentum. We saw it on point 1. Will it happen once more? Yeah, you see the ultimate is available. The stun could be massive, protecting that back line, but they are already being fully dove on. Look how many red enemies, but Cal and Unknown are able to find 2. Gilbert gonna bring back Brady. Nobody has fallen from that full commitment, and the point is moving. 2 minutes still on the clock as they head to the final turn.
Bray's been huge. That last fight got the freeze into Luca. He could do it again too. Could shut down the Feast of the Abyss. They have ultimates available too. With 2 minutes left to go. Glortrox and BTS could also.
You guys are only saying that because of what Jitward's skin he's using.
To keep them alive from Luca's dives.
If you know, you know.
BTS does have guard trucks available. The Feast of the Abyss goes under, lands on a few. Nobody drops just yet as Zatex gets the first pick. There is that commitment now. Will it land? It looks like it does not find enough value. Luca drops bedtime after the commitment. Zatex now has alt mask onto Guru. Jitward onto Unknown. Everybody getting a piece of the pie here for Yeah We Lost, who come back with a vengeance after losing, and that just keeps being their story.
TSM had 5 minutes for this, by the way, chat.
Gilbert getting staggered out. They know he has ultimate, but they wait till last second to KO him, and they might actually even go for more here. Understanding how fast this team is, TSM should be able to read it.
Look how aggressive they are, bro. They're very aggressive.
He's been popping off since the last round, and it's going to go continue towards the spawn. Yeah, we lost. Again, go for the spawn camp.
They're literally spawn camping the other
team. They walked a little bit too far forward. 1 minute left to go. They do have to see you later, at least in this upcoming fight, but it could get deleted again. And Brady, again, needs to go kind of big to peel off for Cal in this back line. And again, for Yeah We Lost, who Zatex has been disgusting on Elsa so far.
Yeah, they're looking really strong. TSM needs to make something happen here now. They want to make this a game. The Glartrox goes out, and yes, Zatex does find one. Goodbye,
See,
Unknown.
you see what happens when you're aggressive,
fully commit, but immediately, almost gets eaten. What an answer. Way to juke that right there from Guru. Cal gonna trade it back. Numbers are even. Kendrick does not find much value there. Is the Kamiho unleashed? And yeah, we lost. Are heavily committing in this fight. A portal play could get past them if they can sneak it. Will they be able to get the next pick? Brady finds one onto Kendrick. Armed and dangerous as the Kraken impact comes through. Luca onto Gilbert. Goodbye to a strategist. Cal onto Zatex. Brady forced to commit ultimate. They need to get to this point. 10 seconds on. They will get this touch. But wow, it's been back and forth.
The bad thing is that Unknown needs to get his Groot ult.
These fights are crazy, man.
TSM doesn't have any ults, chat. YWL still has like what, 3 ults? They just used one.
He's got that damage constantly happening underneath the pocket from TSM.
Oh, Cal drops Kendrick, but Luca deletes Brady. Zatex on Unknown. Xantho into Guru. Goodbye to everyone. OT ticks down here. I'm not sure the portal can get there. They have been deleted. Yeah, we lost. Looking to shut this down, and they do.
Oh my God, yeah, we lost. Have done it. They've beaten TSM, who looked a lot better on the last map, but on this one, yeah, we lost. Go for the tried and true Phoenix ban, and it enables them towards the very end. 2-1 finish.
Hey. TSM did great, bro. They did a lot better than I thought they were going to do.
Eliminate TSM just yet because of SSG. In their match
everyone
tomorrow,
that voted on TSM for $2 million, all 137 of you. Hold up, we gotta look at the wall of shame, chat. Give us the wall of shame.
What a great match this was. It was, first of all, not a 2-0.
If you bet 250K on
very much.
YWL, you won 371,000.
Are we cursed this stage? I don't know. Because last stage in the preseason, you guys
wall of shame.
Every
Emily Tangerine bet 100K. James Reddy, Provolone.
A bit more one-sided. I was happy to see TSM fighting back, at least on Museum of Contemplation. But just as we discussed, as we were setting up,
so many.
Yeah, we lost banning out the Phoenix and TSM afterwards. Just didn't have that much again to actually punch back at.
When are you guys going to learn?
I think it was just like they just had so many huge ults.
Jay3's
it's like every time we lost committed.
are never
I mean,
wrong,
besides the very last fight where there's some stuff